Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with the Saw right here on Superlative Radio. Today, Dylan and I are going to talk about Pennyworth, and we're going to talk about Wandavision. We're going to be talking about episode 3 of Pennyworth and episode 4 of Wandavision, and there is a whole lot to break down in Wanda.
So he says.
We're going to get to that after because it's going to be a big part of the episode.
So it's longer to get into.
Yeah, so we're going to start with Pennyworth because...
Oh, no, that's your job. Sorry, you go ahead.
We're going to start with Pennyworth because... It was a pretty good episode, and we always start with Pennyworth, so, it's just the way it is, but there
you go.
There it is. Okay, so...
I didn't want to take away his little fun.
So Pennyworth, you know what, let's start with your overall impression of the episode.
Well, he got the money back.
Yeah, he got his money back.
Yeah. At least for a second.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
was freaky. That was really something. It wasn't surprised that she tried to run away with it, but with the money and everything after all that, whatever. But when the car hit and exploded, I went, "Oh no!" Like how many things can screw up and just But anyway, so it was kind of funny that way.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the guys, of course, cashed in his chips.
Yep.
The black guy's gone. But why is it always the black guy that has to die? Do you ever realize that? It's just weird how,
No, you have to ask Vinny.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's it, exactly.
You have to ask Vinny. His fishing trip, remember?
Yeah, that's right. The fishing trip was the black guy that died.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, first. Yeah, he was the first one to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just maybe it's just a vocal.
It's always the black guy.
Yeah, maybe that's a reflection of the world we're living in. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they'd lost one of their guys, but. All in all, not too bad. I was enjoying the whole
episode.
The whole episode and the way it's Of course, she got back in touch with Metal Nose there.
Yep.
And that kind of thing, but just strange how it all comes together.
Yep.
It's weird.
Yeah, for sure.
I enjoyed it though.
Did you?
Yeah.
That's good.
What about you? What's your...
Oh, I liked it. I think this show just gets better.
Yeah, it's...
like I said to you earlier, I was like, there's obviously not going to be any Batman in this universe.
Yeah, it seems that way, yeah.
Because Martha and Thomas just don't like each other.
Yeah.
But
what?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, as soon as she slapped him.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah.
As soon as she slapped him, I was like, yeah, well, there ain't no Batman in this universe.
Yeah.
But no, that's just, it's just... I'm not sure how they maybe plan on getting them two together or if they're even going to bother. I don't know, but I am enjoying the show overall. I think that it's really well done.
It is. It's a good show.
The special effects really make it seem like you're actually in the 1960s in London or late 50s,
I don't know.
whatever it is.
There was bombs dropping like it was the 40s.
Remember, London is under siege from the group that's outside, led by Metal.
Oh, right. Okay, because
the war is going on in England.
Yeah. It looked like 40s with the bombs dropping and stuff. It made me go, "What are we back in World War II now or something?" What?
I think it's the 60s though. I think
it seems like the 60s from the music and from the. But it just made me think that I was, maybe I said, okay, maybe it's taking place in the 40s.
No, it's not. But it's just. I think that, when you look at the special effects and the way they did, like I know like last week when I talked about the headquarters and I put up the image of the headquarters and how cool that looked, and everything just has this real intriguing, like I don't know, it's just they're doing a really good job of making it look like you're in that time period.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a really awesome job with it, like right down to the details in the clothing.
They obviously did their homework. The set designing and the car,
everything. It's just it's stupendous. And I don't know.
They obviously got a good budget for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would be able to pull it off.
But I don't know, like you guys out there, when you're watching a show, if all those little things, if you sit and you notice them or watch for them. But I know, like when I sit down and I watch the show, I notice a lot of the little details that they put in, a lot of the little things that they throw out and make it more authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know.
Like, it's one of those things that it's just like, they're on the ball there. They've done something there that makes it look really authentic.
That's the thing about quality, is you can notice it.
You're funny.
Okay, before we started off air here, we were arguing about the difference between 1080p and 4K, and we were talking about,
Yeah.
we got into a little sarcasm, and that was a sarcastic shot left over from that. So
otherwise, though, I mean, the episode was really good. Now, I liked the part where he was dreaming and he saw his father.
Yeah. Yeah, his father's
Father
sitting
had
in
a
the
big
chair.
hole blown in him and everything. And then he just jumps out the window.
That's it. Yeah, that was weird. And he
know-
said, my father, the dream, and he mentioned to the guys about it.
And he's like, oh, here we go. And he's
Yeah.
like, all right, fine, forget the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's really, the little subtleties that they put into the episodes and the little subtleties they put into the details really just kind of drive it home.
Well, it's
about
also a
where
lot to
they
do with
are.
the writing and the way they
Yeah,
put
it's
it
very
together.
well written.
Yeah.
The show is, of course, we can't show this scene, but the scene where, of course, the priest or whatever he woke up in the orgy.
That's right.
They took a picture of
That's
him.
right. Yeah.
Even
We
though
can't
he
show
hadn't
that.
done
but
anything, he drugged him or whatever.
That's right.
But
And used it and took pictures and
But like,
cornered him.
we can't show it because there's nudity, and
Yeah.
YouTube has things about nudity. But the scene. It's Crawley, the Satanist,
Yeah.
is the one who got him into this and did what he did. But
When
then,
you
of
see
course,
the episode, you'll see it. But
and of
yeah.
course then of course he hung himself.
Yep.
So and the Queen was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, we've lost another one. But I'm kind of curious as to why the CIA sent Thomas to undermine that. Like, why they would want this rogue Naziist fascist group to basically.
Maybe we haven't found out yet.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. I'm trying to figure out in my head why they want them to be in control of England rather than the Queen.
Well, they've got their ideas.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to
No,
me.
we'll get to that. I'm sure there's good reasons that they've got for
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. I haven't wrapped my. If any of you guys have any ideas as to how they.
mark it underneath and see how close we all get.
What you think they're doing to, I guess. Why they would want them in? Because I can't figure it out. I can't figure out why they would want fascists, especially considering this is supposed to be after World War II, which would mean they defeated the Nazis and the Italians, which were fascists.
Yeah.
So obviously, they, for them wanting to put, another fascist group in power, I don't understand what the CIA's reasoning there is, and why the U.S. government would be okay with it or whatever. I don't know.
Well,
but
we will find out.
it'd be interesting to find out. But if you guys have any theories as to why, I'd like to know them, because I can't figure it out. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to destabilize Great Britain. I don't know. I can't. Again, I'm not sure. But
Mark your comments underneath. See
yeah.
how close you get.
I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do. Like how Pennyworth is going to, how he's going to, get to America now. Where like you said, all his money just kind of went.
Yeah.
Like it all went up in smoke there.
Literally. Yeah.
So I'm just kind of wondering how they're going to get to that. Now, and then of course there was the secondary storyline, which was the two women.
The two women, yeah.
And
like I said, she got a hold of Metal Nose again there. So
yeah, and then those two guys showed up in the police car. Or
yeah,
whatever,
and they weren't obviously
shot
police.
everybody.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, that whoever was sent to get her was sent instead to kill her.
Yep.
Is what I'm thinking there.
So Metal Nose is.
I don't know if he did it. Like, I think that because you remember when
they argued with
they argued
yeah,
about
that's
it?
right. Yeah, like
And-
he was told not to, and I know.
yeah, and then of course the scientist guy was standing off to the side, and he kind of gave a weird look.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if when they sent, he just said
They
okay,
did something behind the
he was
scenes.
behind his back
Yeah.
to send them to kill her.
Could be.
So it'll be interesting to see if that's the case, because she's clearly off her rocker.
Really, you think?
Like she is really
She's
she's out there.
Oh yeah, she's just like
she's definitely a psychopath.
Oh yeah, she's way gone.
And so I'm wondering if that there is a
She's, as they say, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
yeah.
You know,
It's just that there's something obviously there, like and I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with that, where that story
She's looking at crazy. What is it? She's looking at crazy in the rearview mirror. You know, like
exactly.
it's just like gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Objects may appear crazier
then
than they appear.
You know? Objects are crazier than they appear. Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
But yeah, like
Took you a second to find that one, didn't you?
I was trying to remember how it reads on the mirror.
I could see the wheels turning. I'm going, where's he going with this? And there it was. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know if it's how they. I guess if they're gonna have her be a big part of the season, or if they're gonna just offer like halfway through. Like,
they
I don't know. There's only gonna be 10 episodes, I guess. Just like the first season, there's only 10 episodes.
What kind of bullshit is this?
I
Like,
know.
really? This is not a season, guys. Come on.
We've talked about this before.
I know. Please.
I have a couple of vlogs on it. It's crazy.
I know.
Like, just the. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't
get it either. That 10 does not make a season.
No.
Do you hear me?
They're not
Stupid asshole. No, they don't listen.
They don't listen to us. They don't listen to us.
Who are you?
Anyway.
Oh,
there you go.
I've started something.
There's our hand model.
Yeah, I've started something with this. This is good. I like it. You want to hand him the other one now?
Yeah. So.
You want to hand him his fresh
give me the
one?
second one.
Here we go. He's such an ass.
Me that will.
Yeah. Maybe we can get
Anyway.
Tim Hortons to give us.
But
I even got it on mine. See, Timmy's, pay for it. Help us, eh?
The whole I don't know, just the whole way that they're doing this is really awesome.
Preparation H feels good
on the whole. No, you're right. I do agree. Yeah. But it's just the whole way that they're doing this show is really well done. Everything from the writing to the acting to the casting, like everything is just top notch.
Spot on. It really is.
I mean, it's a really good drama. So.
Drama.
Yeah, if you're not, watching it, then you really should be. Then again, I don't know why you're not. I just can't figure it out.
And on that note, I'm just going to go off topic for a second, only for a second. But if you're really enjoying, I'd like to put something out there, something else for you to take a look at. Take a look at Yellowstone. I'm 2 seasons in. Unbelievable. Kevin Costner. Awesome show. If you get the chance, check out Yellowstone. It's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon Prime, yeah.
Check it out.
Okay.
Just wanted to put my bid in because let them know.
There's another show that's on Amazon Prime that I've been thinking of looking into. It's called The Expanse.
I've heard about it, but I haven't.
Fiction.
I haven't had the chance to check it out. But
Anyway,
Yellowstone's
I don't
great.
know.
I mean,
I'll have
season
to
3.
see. But anyway, if you've watched Yellowstone or The Expanse, comment below. I'd like to know what you think of them.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen either of them. So,
no.
I guess we'll see.
Yellowstone's great.
Anyway.
You'd like it, Marky.
That said, so what was your favorite scene in Pennyworth this week? Was it the money blowing up?
It was the money blowing up because it made me laugh.
Yeah.
I'd have to say it was that. Just, boom, and they're looking, boom. And I was like, oh, you poor bastard. Like, just all that work. The thing that got me was in the House of Mirrors. Through another mirror, and while I was watching it, I was thinking, oh, another 7 years bad luck.
Yeah. I know. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I really liked the part when, and I liked and disliked at the same time, but I liked the part when his buddy's there and he's dying and he's telling him, I want you to, and he's like, does the wife have to be fat?
Yeah.
And he's like, these are my dying words. All right. Plump wife.
That was funny. Yeah.
I was like,
still joking, even though they're dying.
The whole thing,
it was
like,
good.
does the wife have to be fat?
Yeah.
I'm like, frig, that was funny.
It was cute.
I laughed. I'm like, oh, even when the guy's dying, they're trying to make the situation light to,
But there was a few really.
I liked that part. I thought it was.
Yeah. And I also liked the part where she, with her new gun, and she was, she shot by accident.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a new one for me, you know. Yeah, it was kind of funny, that one. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was really good. So, anyway, what did you guys think of the episode? Because overall, I thought it was pretty good. Obviously, Dylan thought it was really good.
Yeah,
I look forward to watching it every week.
Me too.
It's a lot of fun. It's a well done show. So. Anyway.
So both of us are giving it the old thumbs up for
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah.
We are. That said,
Check it out and let us know what you think. Bottom
exactly.
line.
And let's move
All right,
on to Wandavision. So, Wandavision, episode 4.
All right, so you got a lot to go
I
through here.
know. I told you before. I was amazed at how much stuff there is to break down in this
Yeah.
episode. So, before I get into the total breakdown of everything, what did you think?
I started to watch it, as I said, and I got confused, as I told you off air.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was, like, as I said, I don't know the subtleties like you do. Even though I've seen the movies and I've caught up on whatever,
Yep.
I just didn't put it into the long-term memory. You know, I've watched it, and then it's like some movies you watch and you just forget and move on. And people will bring it up years later. You go, yeah, I saw that, but
He's
I don't
such
really.
a slacker.
Yeah, well, there's things I got music trivia and things I got to keep in there. I only have so much,
You
so
only
many-
have so much space.
That's right, so much
Yeah.
megabytes of that I can.
He's still operating on a Rolodeck.
What are those? Maybe I should get one of those.
There's probably somebody out there watching going, what the hell is
Rolodex. Yeah. What's a Rolodex? Yeah. No, I got mine on those stone tablets.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So I keep mine on stone.
It's better than I thought. I was at least going to give you the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh no! I'm wrong.
But no, you're right back to the...
Yabba dabba doo.
All right.
But anyway, yeah. So it was. I enjoyed it, and it was nice to see. Well, as I said, it was from a different angle. Now you're outside, and you sort of see. And I thought it was really cute that she had to get an old TV to, sort of narrow in on it, kind of thing. It was weird, like how it, one of the questions was when she was watching it at the very end and they're panning out and you see the person like you did watching the monitor, why didn't she catch on to that?
What do you mean? That was her. The very end.
It doesn't make sense.
Yes.
That doesn't follow because
Yes, it does.
if she was the one watching in that pan out, she'd have already known that it was a TV show, which she didn't know.
No. You're. I'll explain it when you get into it. When I get into it.
Okay, so I missed something again. Son of a bitch.
So.
Okay. Anyway, you start explaining because I did enjoy it. I just didn't get all the subtleties. So now it's your turn to catch me up and catch them up on all the.
Mark, have you watched it?
No.
No. So as we know.
So see, now you're going to get the benefits. You're going to be able to watch it and know what's going on.
So
I watched last week's.
Okay. He's a week behind.
Okay.
So go ahead.
All right.
Tell
so
us.
what with this episode, again, this episode takes place primarily outside of the bubble. The
That's
only episode, or the only part of the episode that we see inside the bubble is extra scenes that we see that happened in the previous 3 episodes.
Yeah, we
that
didn't
they
see her
never
go
showed.
through the wall.
Okay,
and the whole
that they
thing
never
and the-
show.
No,
Okay,
that's right.
So this episode revolves around. It starts, of course, with Monica coming back after
Right.
Hulk snaps everybody back into existence in Endgame. Finding out her mother had been dead 3 years
Yeah.
during the period when everybody was gone. She goes back to SWORD, which was founded by her mother. And, of course, then
Who
she
was her
gets
mother?
the black woman who was in Captain Marvel.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Anyway, of course, there's all the confusion at the hospital and stuff. And
Yeah, you see people coming back. You see
them all
Yeah.
reappearing. And so she goes to SWORD, and of course, the guy that's in charge at SWORD, he asks her to go do this thing, in New Jersey and help with a missing person. Now, the interesting part is it's a missing person, and
Nobody knows who he is.
trying to figure out who the missing person is. So if you guys have any theories of who you think the missing person is and who it is in the actual town.
You know? Or do you have a...
No, I don't have any
Oh,
idea.
okay. I thought
So
you had
anyway, Monica goes, ends up meeting up with Agent Wu. And Agent Wu is, of course, the FBI agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp. And
See, I didn't know that.
so they end up, as they're talking or whatever, and of course they're talking to the police, and the police are like, okay, well, there's no place called Westview, even though they're standing there and there's a big sign that says Westview. The highway had a sign that said Westview, whatever. And there's like, nope, it's Eastview. There's no Westview.
Yeah,
So Monica goes up. You see her with the drone. The drone goes. She sends the drone in first.
That's the
drone.
thing that she picked up in the episode that was in color, right? I
The
caught
drone
that.
goes through. Then Monica goes up and she touches it and she gets sucked in. So of course, then 24 hours goes by, and we see a truck driving along the road en route to the temporary sword base outside of Westview. And on that truck is Darcy Lewis, who you guys should remember from Thor 1 and 2.
That's the chick with glasses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so, of course, they bring Darcy in, and Darcy is going through, she's talking about the cosmic background radiation that...
different layers of it, she said.
Now, that in and of itself is important, which I'll get into in a minute, but... you notice that when they go in and they have everything all set up and they've got the perimeter set, you notice that the perimeter, when they have the actual bubble of Westview, it's a hexagon.
No, I did not catch that.
You didn't see, it's all over their screens. It's a hexagon because they even when Agent Wu's writing stuff on the whiteboard, and one of the things is why hexagonal.
I missed. Okay,
there's all again.
That's all your references you were talking about.
It is like
that's your 6/6 coming back.
Well, yeah, but also Wanda's powers. In the comics, they call her they say she has hex powers, which is like magical powers and whatever, and alter reality and all that kind of stuff. So it's all kind of interconnected. So anyway, they they're trying to figure out how they can find out what happened to Monica, because at this point they still don't know. Agent Wu and Darcy are working together. Of course, Darcy figures out that there's a TV signal there, and she tells them to get her an old TV because she needs an old TV in order to pick up the signal.
She said, yeah.
So she starts watching, and now one of the things is they talk about, we're only seeing, when you look at the first 3 episodes, okay? So the very first episode, which takes place in the 50s, and it's basically a copy of
the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Dick Van Dyke Show, okay? So basically, there was a whole season of Wandavision, Dick Van Dyke Show era. We see 1 episode. Okay?
Okay.
Then it jumps, and we see 1 episode from the 60s season. And
Right.
it jumps, we see 1 episode from the 70s season. Okay? Because Darcy talks about how she's been watching the show, and she's like, she talks about, when they're setting up to do the Agent Wu with the mic,
Yeah.
trying to reach
Yeah.
her, and she says, well, the radio that's on the counter, every time she's doing dishes, it happens roughly once per episode.
Right, she did say that. That's right,
Okay?
she did.
So we're only seeing 1 episode of that whole season.
And they had 25 seasons then. 25 episodes then.
Actually, the Dick Van Dyke Show had 30 episodes in its first season.
Ah, well, there you go.
Okay? So what we're...
They knew how to make seasons.
Well, even if you go to Bewitched had, I think, 32 or 31 episodes in its first season, too.
Okay.
That was a lot.
That was 60s, too. Okay.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is only 1 episode out of that season, and then it goes forward to another decade. And that was how they were trying to figure. They're like, she's like, I can't figure out why it keeps jumping every season to a new
Location
new
or new
decade.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she said that because it was
Yep.
50s, 60s, and then 70s. She
Yep.
said that. Yeah.
So that's one of the things we're getting 1 episode out of a whole season, then we're getting 1 episode out of a whole season, and 1 episode
Yeah.
out of a whole season, right? So it's kind of interesting the way they're playing up. So obviously they're watching a lot of different things happen.
So it goes from Dick Van Dyke to Bewitched to Brady Bunch.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it
so,
is.
As you can see, they, of course, they're, you notice, of course, that when they're watching on the screen, now, when Wu is Wanda,
Yeah,
who's doing this to
she
you,
hears
Wanda?
it.
Okay? This scene right here, she hears it, and it shows, and you can
But
see
she
her
changes it,
smash, you can see her, you see Dottie break the glass,
yeah.
and then it switches immediately to her asking about how to get
That's
something.
right, exactly.
You don't see what happened in between. And Darcy's like, wait a minute. And she's trying to figure out what happened. And then it does it again when Vision
That's right. Exactly.
notices something, and then it
Yeah.
skips a whole bunch. Well,
Who's doing that? Her?
Wanda is.
Okay.
So we're seeing, when we watch the episodes, of course, we're seeing parts that those outside the bubble aren't seeing. And now, at the same time, now we're seeing things outside the bubble that those inside the bubble aren't seeing. Like it's
Okay,
okay,
we're
so it's
getting
all-
the,
it's
we're
all
getting the
coming
benefit
together.
of both. Okay, all right.
And so, of course, they were wondering why, of course, when the drone appeared, why it had reverted to the way it did and looked the way it did and why it was in color. They
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
figure
that's
that
right.
out. So, of course, it does get to the point where you see Wanda blow Monica through the wall.
That's right.
And blow her all the way across the
Whatever
field,
it was. Yeah.
right out of the reality, all this stuff. We see the beekeeper. He climbs. He's actually not a beekeeper.
That's
he's an
right.
agent.
That's right.
He climbs down. He goes through the thing, and when they pull it
Yeah.
up, there's a jump rope at the end.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
he changed into a beekeeper.
Yeah.
Now, no one knows what happened to that guy because as he climbed up, of course, Wanda
That's right.
spun everything back, right? So,
That explained why you
you
saw
know, a lot
him.
of people, and of course, then Wanda says to Vision at one point, she sees Vision dead.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it goes a little further, and you see her. She says, "Well, I have everything under control, right?"
Yeah. That's right.
Well, of course, Monica, when she comes out, she's like, "It's all Wanda. It's all Wanda."
That's right.
Well, it's not. So
This is what you said to me
Yeah.
off air. It's not.
So when you're watching the episode, we're getting a whole lot of information, and I mean, there is a ton of information being given here.
Are you going to put it into perspective here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So everybody thinks it's Wanda, and of course, even Agent Wu says if it's Wanda, then in order to solve it, she's got to be part of the solution and not just the part of the cause. Because they cannot take her on. Okay, there's nobody in S.W.O.R.D. or the FBI or the Army or the Air Force and all, because they've got all these different divisions of everything out there around. Nobody can take her on. Like even Agent Wu at one point, he's like, so someone made a sitcom of two Avengers, nobody can.
And they even asked, is Vision alive?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that's written on the whiteboard behind him when he's writing everything down. And of course, as the thing go through, you can see them identifying people, right?
Yeah, that's
And they
right.
post
This
that on,
person is playing this part.
one,
This person is playing that part. Yeah.
So one of the things is that Wanda and Vision are two of the most powerful Avengers there are. It's actually arguable that Wanda is probably on par with Thor in power level, or Captain Marvel. Maybe even, I would guess she's probably stronger than Captain Marvel, because she pretty much, in Endgame, she pretty much, well, let's just go back a little bit before even that, and I'll get to WandaVision. But when you go back to Infinity War, and you see Wanda and Vision's telling her, no, now we're out of time. You've got to destroy the gem. And she's blasting him. And then Thanos shows up. And she puts one hand to start blasting at Thanos. And he's trying to get through her blast. At the same time, she's blasting Vision's head to blow up the gem. And she's holding Thanos off, who has 5 gems in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Pretty powerful.
She's extremely, and of course, then let's jump forward to Endgame when she jumps down in front of Thanos. She says, "You took everything from me." And she rises him up, and she literally starts ripping him apart with her power. She's incredibly powerful, and they've stated many times that Wanda's probably the most powerful Avenger, aside from Thor, because no one that we've seen on screen is as strong as Thor or as powerful as him. But out of all the other Avengers, it's definitely more than likely Scarlet Witch. And then, of course, Vision's no slouch with what he can do. And so if S.W.O.R.D. was to try to take Wanda on, they'd lose in a minute. She could just wipe them all, Obviously, every person that comes into that reality, she alters them. Now, I know that everybody's been, I've made comments about how, oh no, the devil is behind everything. Mephisto is the devil in the MCU, and it's all these references to 6 for 666 and all this stuff.
You're changing it now?
Nope.
Oh.
The devil is Mephisto is your I am willing to bet everything on it, and I will explain the same reason because Kim asked me as well, and I explained. I said I see now even more clearly how this connects to the next Spider-Man movie because that's the second part, and Doctor Strange is the third part. So I'll get into how I think they're all connected and how.
Go.
But so basically, you know, we can see how Wanda has control of everything around her. But I don't think she's in complete control of everything. I think she has a vast amount of control. Now, you were asking about how when it zoomed out, they didn't realize it was a show or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So that zoom out that we saw at the very end of the first episode, that's Darcy sitting there watching it on the TV for the first time. That's Darcy sitting there. That's her sitting there. We're just in episode 4, they finally showed us that it was her watching the TV. That's all it is. They're just showing us that was her watching. When it pans out to show the person at the console watching the show, that's Darcy.
Okay.
That's all that is. It's just they're just showing us that at that point we're seeing Darcy because we didn't know who it was at that point, right?
Right.
But it's
Okay.
Darcy. That's who it is.
All right.
So, the fact that Wanda has so much control over everything, obviously we're seeing that Vision is now. What I'm thinking is,
It's not really Vision.
no, it is Vision.
Oh, okay.
It
All
is
right.
Vision.
I thought you were gonna say it
I
was-
think what it is in Infinity War when Vision was killed. Okay, obviously, the Avengers probably took his body somewhere, probably back to their headquarters or whatever, is where it probably was stored. And I'm thinking that after Endgame, Wanda found his body because, of course, Avengers headquarters had been completely destroyed by Thanos attacking it,
Right.
remember? That she probably took his body and she basically created this reality and reanimated his body. Now, I don't think she did it. I think what happened is, in her despair, she made a deal with Mephisto. Because that's what Mephisto does, as the devil would do. The devil makes deals with people, right? So he provided her with the ability he provided her with this reality that she can control and alter and do whatever in. And
She brought him back.
it allowed her to be happy. And in doing so, he probably messed with her mind a little bit to make, because you notice that whenever references from the real world come in, like when Monica mentioned Pietro and Ultron,
Yeah, that's
that
right,
was
yeah.
when
How do
Wanda
you
was
know
like, "How do
about-
you know?"
oh,
And then she
yeah.
was like, "You need to leave," and she
Yeah.
threw her out. You don't belong here, and all
You're from the outside something. Yeah.
So at that point, it was like Wanda's mind was kicking into remembering something that she was trying to basically suppress. So I think that what Mephisto did is, because I think he's the villain. I think he's the one who has suppressed those memories, and every so often they pop out, and that's what causes her to lose control a bit and throw things off.
Okay. Interesting.
And that's why that happened. But I think that she has total control of what's happening inside the bubble. I do believe that. But it's just all in the way that he's manipulated her to do so. Okay? So now the reason that I think that it's definitely Mephisto and how I feel that it's connected even more is you can see all these different things where they're talking about the devil being mentioned through the first 3 episodes, you know. Agnes, you know, mentions the devil. There's the references with all the, you know, the red puffs of smoke and
That's
like
right,
all
yeah.
like there's so many references to the devil. But when you look at now, when they say that this is part 1 of a trilogy, where these 9 episodes are going to be part 1, part 2 is going to be Spider-Man, the 3rd Spider-Man movie, and then part 3 is going to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is the 2nd Doctor Strange movie, which we know Elizabeth Olsen is co-starring in. So the reason I say this, and Kim was like, well, why is it you're even more convinced of it now, is because, well, what happened to Spider-Man in the last Spider-Man movie? At the very end, Mysterio revealed that Spider-Man was Peter Parker.
That's right.
Right?
Told everybody.
Outed him.
Yeah.
Now, in the comic books, in Civil War, Spider-Man was on Iron Man's side at the start. And when he did so, because of the way that the Superhero Registration Act worked, which is what they called it in the comics, it wasn't the Sokovia Accords, that it was the Superhero Registration Act. And so what
Okay.
he did is he as being a superhero that was registered with the government, you had to show who you actually were. So Spider-Man revealed himself before the world that he was Peter Parker. Well, I believe it was Kingpin put out a hit on Spider-Man, and instead Aunt May got killed. And so there was a comic in Spider-Man a little few years down the road after this or whatever, where it was called Spider-Man One More Day, and Spider-Man made a deal with Mephisto to have his secret identity imposed on everybody again, so that no one would know who he was, so that Aunt May could be alive. And the devil, Mephisto, the trade-off was that he could no longer be married to Mary Jane. Spider-Man wouldn't be happy, blah, 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 all this stuff. So that's what happened. So that leads me to believe that this is how it's
Which is
connected
why
to
it
Spider-Man.
happened in that.
Okay?
Yeah.
So in Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie, now we know that he's dealing with the fact that his secret identity has been revealed. He's being hunted. And
So this is where this is going to play in.
his relationship with MJ is from little tidbits that we've heard and seen of what's coming in the next Spider-Man is it's on the rocks a bit because
Well, they had
what's
that
going
with
on,
this
okay?
Tobey Maguire one.
so then at the same time we
No.
know that what
In the Tobey Maguire
No.
one, he did that. He rejected her.
yeah no don't bring that because it's got nothing to do with this.
Oh, okay.
So obviously
Spider-Man in my mind.
we know but it's not.
It's a different Spider-Man.
So
Okay.
we know that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to reprise their roles in some fashion as Spider-Man because they're bringing in the multiverse into Spider-Man. Okay, so I'm going to guess that what's going to happen is that's how they're kind of connecting it this way. And then, of course, with the multiverse stuff where they're bringing in all the other Spider-Men and all this other stuff, that's going to connect to Doctor Strange. Now, I think what's going to happen is by the end of WandaVision, they're going to have us believing that Wanda is the villain. I think that's what they're going to do, is they're going to have it believe that Wanda is the villain in some fashion, or maybe not quite, or almost, whatever. And it's not going to get resolved until Doctor Strange, because I think what's going to happen is she's going to need Doctor Strange's help to fight Mephisto or Nightmare, who may also be involved, to set everything straight. Because part of what the next Doctor Strange movie is going to be is
This is a cluster.
it's also keep in mind it's also a sequel to Spider-Man, which is introducing the multiverse stuff, right? Well, Doctor Strange is going to have to be going around fixing the multiverse to try to fix everything. Of course, there's just so
confused.
much. There's so much involved in what's going on, and yeah, I know it can be confusing, especially if you haven't read the books.
Confusing. Jesus.
But again, I really truly think that what's going to happen is by the end of it, we're going to see in Doctor Strange 2, we're going to see Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange going up against Mephisto, possibly Nightmare, obviously Baron Mordo, because Mordo is going to return from the first one in some fashion. He's going to be a villain. It's going to connect somehow to Spider-Man with all the multiverse stuff, which is probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we do not see in the next Spider-Man, if there is not a cameo by Doctor Strange. In fact, I believe Doctor Strange is actually probably going to be a big part of that movie.
In order
But I
to lead
wouldn't-
into the
yeah,
next.
but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Scarlet Witch turn up in that as well.
When
Now,
does that come out?
It comes out this Christmas,
Okay.
I think. I think it's this Christmas.
All
I'm
right.
not sure. Anyway, but I think that what's happened is Wanda has, of course, with Vision's body, it's been reanimated, and I think that's due more to Mephisto than her. And
Will it stay animated? Is that your
I
thought?
have a feeling that by the end of this show, Vision will be alive again.
See, that's...
And do you know why? It's because there's a preview for next week's episode where you can see Vision. He walks out of the anomaly, out of the bubble. And just as he's almost all the way out of it, he gets pulled back in. I have a feeling that by the end of it, Vision is going to be alive.
Interesting. Okay.
Somehow Vision will be alive again. So that's my theory. I don't know how true it is, but I have a theory that Vision will be alive by the end of it, and it will be in part due to Mephisto and Scarlet Witch, and however they've made their deal or whatever.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think it would be really good to do that because I'm one of those believers in comics. Like, nobody's ever really dead in a comic book. They always they killed Superman, they brought him back. They killed Captain America, they brought him back. They killed, Colossus, they brought him back. They killed Phoenix, they brought her back. They killed Cyclops, they brought him back. They killed Wolverine, they brought him back. They killed Hulk, they brought him back. They kill characters and bring them back all the time. Like, death is never a permanent thing. So I think making death a permanent thing for heroes in the Marvel Universe,
Not going to happen.
I don't think it should happen. Because I think,
So,
like,
is
everybody's
Thanos going to come back?
No, he's a villain. I think but like, people say, oh, they shouldn't bring Tony Stark back because it'll diminish his sacrifice at the end of Endgame, and I don't believe that for a minute. Because heroes coming back from the dead, I mean, Tony's come back from the dead in the comic books. I don't think it takes away from his sacrifice by having him come back. I think it's just like...
Why do I hear Alan Jackson singing Here in the Real World?
It's just like, to me...
Heroes don't die.
See, to me, it's just like, that's part of comic books. So I think including it in the movies, like, have them die, and like 4 or 5 movies later they come back. Great, fine, whatever, cool. I don't care. It's are the characters enjoyable to watch? Is the story enjoyable? As long as it's enjoyable, it doesn't matter to me if they kill someone and then bring them back later. I don't. Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, is going to make an appearance in WandaVision. Now, is he going to be Quicksilver from an alternate reality? Who knows? But I really think they should bring back the Quicksilver from this one. He was only in Age of Ultron. He got killed at the end. Like, it's just like, we didn't even really get to know this character before he was killed off. And I don't know. I see. I don't have any problem with it. I know there's people out there that are fans that are like, no, leave them dead, leave them dead, leave them dead. But to me, that's not comic books. To me, bring them back. Let's do some more with them or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot to break down in that episode. There's a whole lot. I had to watch it, like I said to you, 3 or 4 times because there's so much. It was like information overload, and I'm kind of surprised they gave us so much so early. I really thought we were only going to get little bits.
Too, though.
9 episodes, but like I said, I didn't think we would get this much information until about like episode 7 or 8.
Can you imagine what's coming then? Jesus.
Yeah. So obviously there's a whole lot because the show's really starting to pick up now. But if you guys are noticing things, what are you noticing? What do you think? What are your theories about what's happening? Who do you think the villain is? Do you really think it is Wanda? Do you think it's all Wanda? Do you think that Mephisto is involved? Do you think Nightmare is involved? How do you think it's going to connect to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange? And because it is going to connect. We do know it's part of a trilogy. We do know it's going to connect. How do you think it's going to? Just there's so much there that
there is a lot.
There is a lot. There's a lot going on, and I got to admit, even probably before I watch this week's episode, I will go back and watch that episode again, just because there's so much in it. But it's nice to see characters coming back. Like, it's nice to see Darcy Lewis again. It's nice to see Agent Wu. Seeing these characters come back, that it just goes to show even more how they're connecting everything. They're making it so this is connected and that's connected and this is connected. It's really cool to see, and I like the fact that they've always done that and the way they've done it. It's really interesting, and
So you're enjoying it too, then?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm just utterly blown away by it.
Well, let's put it into the perspective that I've always used with you. On what do you give WandaVision on 10?
10.
Oh, wow.
Fucking 10 out of 10, man. 10 out of 10.
That's something. Now, you know what? That speaks volumes for you because you're like me.
I'm
with-
picky.
Yeah, you are very picky.
The last movie, the last MCU thing that I would give a 10 out of 10 to, the last thing that I would give 10 out of 10 to was the first Avengers movie.
Wow.
There's not another movie in the franchise that I would give 10 out of 10 to.
You know what? That speaks.
Lots of nines. There's lots of nines.
lots of
Nines and a half.
Yeah.
But
You come close, but no.
WandaVision is definitely a 10 because the subtleties.
That's volumes right there.
And the way that they're stitching it together
Wow.
is amazing. Which is why I do not understand people that are out there saying that it's too slow or they don't get this, or they don't get this. If you're not getting it and you're thinking it's too slow and you're thinking it's this and you're thinking it's that, you need to go back and you need to watch the first 3 phases of the Marvel Universe and you need to watch them for what they are, not just to enjoy them. Watch them for what they're giving us. Look at the details. Look at the subtleties that they throw and how they connect to each other. And then come back and watch WandaVision and you'll be like, oh, crap. That's really boom. And it'll hit you like a truck because it's all there.
Well, like I said, that's.
And if you haven't read the comics, you know, I get that not everybody out there is a comic fan and they haven't read them, so obviously they're not going to get the references to the comics. But that's why I explain them. It's why I explained the connection with Spider-Man and the comic. And
Well, that's why this is good because a lot of people, I'm sure, are like me that don't. You know, I mean, I'm sure that there's people like you that watch this and get the thing. You know, you're saying it and they're going, "Yeah, I know this, I know that." But the others, like me, they're going.
Well, like last week, you remember I said Wanda and Vision in the comics had children.
Yes, you did say that. Yep.
And they were created by Wanda. Of
Yep.
course, Vision killed everybody, but they weren't real anyway. And when that happened, Wanda went crazy. So it's like there are connections to the books in every way. You don't need to read the comics to understand or enjoy these, but it adds to it.
Yeah.
So it's not like
It's a different.
it's not like it's not like they're saying you have to have read Marvel Avengers issue 321 to 552, you know, to understand this. You don't. Okay, you don't need to read the comics to understand. All you actually need to do is watch the movies, watch WandaVision, and you will see how they're connecting things. You will see it if you watch for it, and you watch the subtleties, and you watch what each character says, and watch what they do. If you can remember it, yes, I get it. It's all over. We're talking 23 movies and a TV show that's now on, and it's got its 4th episode aired. So you're talking a lot. And that's not even including Agent Carter, which is 2 seasons, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is 7 seasons. You know,
I loved Agent Carter. That was a great show.
It's not including Daredevil, Iron Fist, you know, Luke Cage, Punisher, Jessica Jones, The Defenders. It's not including any the Inhumans. It's not including any of those TV shows. It's, you know, let's just look at the movies and WandaVision because that's all that really is super included.
Do you realize that's mind-blowing?
It is. But, you know, I've been saying it for a long time. If you watch them and you see how things are connected and you'll get it. It's the fact that they were able to write this and make it this involved and to get people to go like, whoa, you know.
Well, just the fact that they got you to rate it a 10 to me is like beyond knowing how fussy you are with that stuff.
I haven't been this excited for new Marvel content since Infinity War. Like, I remember when Infinity War was released. It was in April 2018. And
Thanks, Sheldon.
I remember going to the theater. And, of course, I went. I had my Infinity Gauntlet with me and everything. And I had a great time.
Really?
Yeah, I did. But I was so excited for that movie. It was unreal. And then the fact that I had to wait a whole year to see Endgame, like a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh my God.
I know. But.
And a lot of, like, you know, a lot of people, when you really think about it, okay, we haven't had new Marvel content since Endgame came out in May or April of 2019. Okay, you're talking.
you've
It's
waited.
almost 2 years we've
Yeah.
had to wait for new Marvel content. I was so excited for WandaVision, and then to see it, and to be
Blown away
episode
like
4
that.
just blew me away to
Yeah.
the point where I was like, I see it now. And I don't mind having to. I like the first 3 episodes. I thought they were very well done. I thought they were awesome, and it just really speaks volumes.
There you go, guys.
So, anyway,
You heard it from the source.
yeah. So, what was your favorite scene?
That's hard to say because I was really just enjoying watching from the outside, getting the different perspective
Mm-hmm.
and doing, it was, well, I mean, I thought it was cute. Like I said, that she got an old TV and did
Yeah.
it that way. I thought that was kind of cute.
And you notice they
seeing-
kept bringing in old
yeah,
TVs,
yeah, I
more
noticed
and
that,
more
yeah.
old TVs.
And they're fixing them, but the tubes in them
Yeah.
and the whole, I thought that was really cool. But
And you notice as the seasons went on, the TVs that they were bringing in
we're different.
Were different
Yeah,
to,
that's right,
to
of
catch
course,
up with the
because
times.
that's right. They had to because it was a 50s TV with the thing, and
Yeah.
I noticed that because the different tubes and the different
Yeah.
things they were doing. Exactly, it was kind of cool. I mean, because I grew up with that, so I
Yep.
know what they are.
Yeah.
I remember watching my grandfather changing the tubes in the TV and doing different things. In fact, I remember doing with one of the first amps I got, which was a 1963 Fender amp, and it started to screw up one time, and my grandfather, like I said, who fixed everything. 6th grade education, and a man could fix things that nobody could even fathom. Anyway, and I said to him one day, I don't know, I was about 14 or something, and I said to him, it's not working right. It's not.
And he went and fixed it.
Oh, he said to me, well, give it to me here, because he was in town, and
Yeah.
he brought it out to the kitchen, and he literally took the goddamn thing apart in pieces all over the kitchen table.
Put it together, and it worked.
Oh, and I was going, and I remember again being 14. I'm going, look at all these pieces. I couldn't do, And he looks at this, and he looks at that, and he does this, and he does that. I'll be back, and he goes out, and he goes to I don't know, some store somewhere. Comes back, he's got a bag with pieces in it,
And he fixes it.
and he goes in and he starts putting it all back together. It worked better than when I bought the goddamn thing.
Okay. Anyway,
So bottom line.
favorite part was that?
Yeah, that would have to be
Okay.
because that brought me back to some memories of things and watching the tubes and doing. I thought that was really cool because it was, what's the word? It was a throwback for me.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
So one of the things that I was really surprised at was that they brought Darcy Lewis into it because this is the last place I expected her to turn up again.
So when you saw her in the back of the truck there, you kind
I
of
was like,
probably
oh,
must
that's cool. And they
Okay.
actually brought Darcy back.
Who are the other ones with her?
No idea who they are. They're
Oh,
just
okay.
not characters I've ever remember seeing before.
Okay.
But I think my favorite part of the episode was probably I would have to say probably when Darcy and Agent Wu are there and they're really trying to figure out what's going on. Like the two of them together played very well. I think they make an interesting team together. the
So
two
they're
of
going to
them.
play more on that. And
Yeah, I
kinda-
hope so because I think they were really good together, and I think it really I like Agent Wu. I mean, I know he's only appeared in
Well, maybe they'll give him a better part.
so I'm hoping that it leads into more because it was I thought that was really cool having the two of them work together to figure it out, and it's like it wasn't anybody involved in Sword that figured it out. It was this
These two,
astrophysicist and this FBI
Yeah.
agent who figured it out. Like I thought that was really cool. I thought that was really neat. That was probably my favorite part of it. And there's so much to break down. There's so much going on. So, but anyway,
There you go.
I'm glad that you're enjoying it. So you were saying actually before we sat down to do this, you were saying that Denise is getting into
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, we just watched the. I let her watch the first one.
Yeah.
And because I said, I'll give you, watch that. I'll watch that one with you. And then I said, then I got to get the fourth one. I said, because the boys are coming and we got to shoot this and do
Yeah.
it. So I guess she'll watch the other two at some point on her own. But the fourth one finished and she was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I said, yeah.
really
I said,
good.
it's getting very interesting. It's kind of,
is.
she says, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I said, well, good. Then
Because they're finally starting to throw some pieces out there to stick it
so
together.
I said, yeah, take the iPad and watch the other two when you're ready, and
Yeah, it's really good. So anyway, let us know what you guys think out there. Again, what do you think of my theory of how it all connects? Do you think that's? I would be surprised if I'm very far off from.
Well,
the actual
time will
thing.
tell.
I mean, that's right. Time will, because we'll know by the end of the next Doctor Strange movie if I was right.
yeah.
But, that's that's my theory up to this point. If it changes, of course, as the show progresses, I will update it. But I think I'm pretty bang on with the fact that Mephisto is behind everything in some fashion.
We'll
and
soon
it is
find
going
out.
Because I think the comics are what's giving away the key to how they fit with the other. Because Mephisto is, generally speaking, a Doctor Strange villain. I've explained how Mephisto and Spider-Man are connected.
You
through
said
the
that on
comics,
okay. Yeah.
And the fact that Wanda has some reality-altering powers. She's obviously
Which
made
is what
some
this
kind
is.
of a deal. There's obviously so many references to Mephisto in this that he's got to be connected to it. So
It's impossible in a way.
I
you
guess
think,
we'll
but
see. Like you said, time will tell. So
Yeah.
if you guys have a different theory, I'd love to hear it. Write it below.
Yeah.
And
Let
tell
us
me
know
what your
what you
favorite
think.
part of the episode was. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Right here on Superlative Radio.